Lydia Ellery has never been to Greece before, and she couldn't wait to get to the Greek island of Zakynthos. Lydia was extremely excited about her upcoming trip and planned to spend her time relaxing and soaking up the gorgeous Mediterranean sun. Lydia's goal was to return to London with a tan, but she ended up taking back home more than that. Ellery loves walking around the island's rocky cliffsides, quiet coves, and village taverns. Everything was amazing, and she couldn't help but notice the countless stray cats roaming the streets and begging for food. It was pretty sad. They all looked in a bad way with wounds on their skin and covered in fleas and ticks. It was one of those "I wish I could save you all" situations, explains Lydia. She's a longtime animal lover and couldn't leave all those poor cats hungry. She started using her all-inclusive meal package to feed the skinniest stray cats. One day while feeding the cats, she got approached by a tourist. The woman told her there was a little kitten hidden in the garbage that could really use some food. She had also been giving food to the kitten, but her vacation was coming to an end. Lydia went to the location and saw a tiny kitten from the garbage cans. She could only have been a few weeks old, said Lydia. She was living in the rubbish bags were piled up from the hotel, which obviously were unhygienic and also dangerous. If the rubbish van had picked up all the trash bags, she would have been crushed, says Lydia. Lydia fed the little kitten twice a day and noticed that she was always on her own. I would sneak out to feed her fish from the hotel, and she would eat it like she'd never seen food before. Every time I came out, she would run by my feet and sit, and we became little mates, explains Lydia. Lydia even named the little kitten Jeffrey. Days went by, and Lydia had to return to the UK. She worried about the fate of her little buddy, and she became really attached and didn't want to leave him behind. I read how a huge percentage of strays dies once winter comes, and there's no tourists to feed them and they starve to death. I couldn't bear the thought of that happening to her after we developed such a strong bond, says Lydia. Lydia discovered that the kitten was actually female, so she renamed her and called her Aggie after Agatha Christie, her favorite author. Lydia looked for a shelter that could take Aggie, but there were too many strays in Zante, so there was no place for little Aggie. On my last day, there was a wonderful woman that came and picked her up from the bins and took her to a foster home. She was fed well, defleed, and dewormed, and had a warm bed to call her own. Although little Aggie got a home, Lydia couldn't stop thinking about her. Despite the distance, Lydia knew they were meant to be, so she got Aggie a passport, vaccines, and after a 2-day-long boat trip, Aggie was finally in the UK, reunited with her beloved friend who saved her life. Aggie makes life infinitely more entertaining. She's quirky, strong-minded, and brings so much presence to our lives. Whilst I miss being able to eat dinner in peace, I wouldn't change anything for the world. She's a beautiful, unique little girl, and I'm so happy I chanced upon her that day in May of last year, explains Lydia. Please share this with your friends and family.